I'm not a father. I'm a father. You know what? Just stand in for me. I have to rush there. Please.
Hello everyone and welcome to The Perspective. Today we dive into the field of cinema and art, the magic of storytelling, and we explore the powerful impact of cross-cultural cinema. In this edition, we have an exciting guest with us, a Ugandan filmmaker who has returned to the Mashariki Africa Film Festival for the second time. It's after a transformative experience last year. Inspired by the festival, she embarked on a collaborative journey between Uganda and Rwanda, culminating into her latest film, The Head. This touching family drama navigates the challenges families face when traditional roles begin to shift and explores the bond that unites us, transcending borders and cultures. We are thrilled to have Jennifer Nankabirwa with us today to share insights into her film, her creative journey, and her vision for East African cinema. Welcome to the show, Jennifer.
Thank you.
How is Kigali and how is your second experience at the Mashariki Film Festival?
Kigali is good. The experience is really good. This time round, there are many people compared to last time. And it is really a good experience. We are learning more and more. And still, we are trying to interact with other guests, to get friends, to learn new things. So that is the beauty of Mashariki Film Festival.
Your new movie, The Head, it was inspired by last year's experience at the festival. Tell us more about it and what it is about and why did you call it The Head?
Coming up with The Head, the title of this movie, The Head, was after a challenge, a big challenge in my country, which I hope it is also another challenge in other East African countries, for the men to leave their responsibilities to the ladies. And that has caused a very big problem to our countries. So that's why I had to come up with such a movie to show what men are supposed to do, to come back in, the head should come back in its rightful position to do their responsibilities. So that is how I came up with that title, The Head. And when I came to Mashariki, I looked around Rwanda, Kigali, and all the places around. Actually, it had very good sceneries. It had the beauty of the country itself, like forced me to come and join with Rwandese to act this movie. Because in Uganda, we've been doing a number of movies, we've done many titles, we've used many of those places, and there are some places which are here and are not in our country. So I was forced to come here and join with Rwandese to use these beautiful sceneries, the good people around, to come up with this story. Because I believe this problem is also here. So we came up with it such that we can get a way of stopping or telling the men what they can do.
Okay. Yeah. So this movie centers on the dynamics of family roles.
Yes.
Especially like you have said, where men step back and they don't execute their duties as men. What message through this movie do you hope or do you expect to transfer, or what information do you want people to understand within the region, in any of the countries, but generally in the region? What message do you want to pass on through this movie?
The message I want to pass on is actually want to come up with the right morals from our children. Because when they get this good example from their fathers, the trend goes like that. But as we talk now, the generation has really decayed. We are seeing a decayed generation because of men losing their responsibilities. They leave families, they do other stuff, and we have a number of single mothers, which is really alarming. So what I wanted the public to watch and learn is to see that children can grow up with both parents. It is very, very important for a child to grow up with a mother and a father, to come up with a nurtured child who is going to become a real father or mother in future with both parents. So that's why I came up with this movie, because I know people are interested in watching movies to learn something than calling them and have like a talk show, like educating them in a normal way. That cannot easily work, but the movies themselves or films attract them to watch, like it is fun, and yet there is a lesson or a message through the movie. So that was my area, to come up with rightful families with both parents to nurture their children.
Yeah, actually, people these days love to watch more than to read, for example.
True.
They no longer like listening to radio, they want to watch TV. Yeah. And I have been reading through your biography. You seem to have more than this. You have 8 movies to your name?
Yes, actually, we have movies, the feature movies, like The Head is a feature movie. We have Let the Kid Be, that is basically for the rights of children. We have The Return of Chirabo, that one is also for the children, actually their rights, because when we groom the children, we are coming up with a better nation. We also have, this one is in our local language, Kalunsambuda, but meaning the origin of problems. So this one had a message that the importance of education. Why should people go to school, the benefits and that kind of thing. And if someone fails to go to school, what really happens in future and that kind of thing. We also have other skits. We take skits to schools for the children to watch, because this is the best way of teaching them. When you call them like for seminars, things like that, they don't want to attend. But when it is entertainment, they will come in big numbers to attend, like they are watching and they are learning something out of these skits. So we have a number of skits, over 20 skits about different topics. Those things of fornication and the results, those things of sugar daddies, funny things that the youth do. So we acted about such short skits. Yes.
The movies that you produce, or the movies that you act, all seem to be educative, or they informative, they talk about something in particular. There's a particular message that you want to put across. It leaves me to wonder, are you an educationist yourself?
Yeah, I'm a teacher by profession, but I do these things of producing, directing, acting. That is a passion, and I'm talented. Though I also did a course on this, but I'm a teacher by profession. So I love children so much. I want to educate them. That's why I get various ways of teaching them, because I want them to have those good morals, be good people in future. Some of these people we see have challenges, but maybe they've failed to get a chance to, like, for some people to talk to them. But if you get this way of making movies and skits and plays, things like that, the youth can learn from them easily, because those are the things they want to watch. Now we have social media, things like TikTok, WhatsApp, that kind of thing. And it is very easy to put a clip which is educative. They can watch and learn from it.
How do you approach writing and developing these emotional scenes that eventually come out of a lesson? Is it things you have seen happen in the world, or is it from your experiences, personal experiences? I mean, how do you approach that?
Actually, most of my movies are true stories. I've seen most of these things happening, maybe from neighbors, from my country, from other people. I read books. I can get books to read, and I get these stories, but most of them are true stories. And in most cases, when you make a movie out of a true story, it comes out to be a good one. It is catching because it talks about real life. I see these things happening in my country, even elsewhere. So when you touch about a certain topic, something is really happening, like you've driven the point home. People are watching and like you are talking about them. Now like the current movie, The Head. Someone watched it somewhere and he was like, you know what? My wife was telling me, did these people act about me? Did you tell them anything concerning me? So she was like, this movie is just amazing. Now this is the thing I'm telling you. If you act about real things, people feel them, they get touched, they are inspired, and eventually they change to the best.
I hope my viewer will look out for this movie, because I have watched a bit of it. There is a scenario where a Ugandan mother comes to Kigali with her daughters, and this leads to unexpected discoveries. Yes. How do you think about that? How do you think about such things that could actually be true? Because if you look at families are scattered, especially in the region, especially between Rwanda and Uganda. You find a mother is here, a father is across the border, a child is here, a cousin is over there, and the culture is intertwined. How do you come up with such creativity?
Actually, how I came up with this, it was a true story as well. Because that man had disappeared for a time, and eventually they found him somewhere. I put it in this story. Though he had gone somewhere else, but we decided to use Rwanda in this case for this mother to come and meet the father eventually with the children. But her coming to Rwanda was because of pressure from the children themselves. There is a way families are being brought up, especially when parents are scattered. Mothers are staying with children, fathers are somewhere else. Even there are single fathers right now who stay with children when the mothers are away. There is this pressure. Mommy is saying this, daddy is saying this. And at the end of the day, the children will be divided. So in the story, because of the pressure from the children, the lady was like, no, I should have a rest somewhere in a different country. Though she came with the children, it was a blessing in disguise to find the father. But it was a true story somewhere that I just brought in my story. And
you conceptualized it
exactly.
and made it local. You customized it to the region.
Yes.
And it's actually true, because I've also seen, I've witnessed some families that are scattered across. That is actually very true. And there are so many relationships across the borders. And for me, it's as though this movie is actually going to have two audiences at the same time.
It's true.
How do you hope to manage this?
We have a very big plan to sell it in Rwanda and then in Uganda at the same time, because we used some scenes were shot in Rwanda, others in Uganda.
By both Ugandan and Rwandan actors?
Ugandan and Rwandan actors. And it has 3 languages. We used English, we used Kinyarwanda itself, then Luganda. So I believe, I've seen people in Rwanda speaking Luganda, and they were in Uganda for some good time. So we've interacted with them. They speak fluent Luganda. I was like, this movie can really work for us if we use these 3 languages and our people. And there are so many intermarriages, by the way, in Uganda between the Rwandese and the Ugandans. Like, we are brothers and sisters, we are couples. Are just those intermarriages have brought up that bond, which I saw necessary to come up with a story to engage with the Rwandese and make it happen, because already we are sisters and brothers.
Okay, nice, interesting. Now, a quick question. Cross-border collaboration in film can sometimes be really challenging.
Yeah.
How did you find working with Ugandan and Rwandan actors? What's the difference? How did you find it working with actors from either sides of the border?
For the Ugandans, it was easy for me because already I had actors in Uganda. I knew how they could act, what they were able to do. But now the challenge came with the Rwandese, whom I didn't know. And, but because of the interaction in the Mashariki Festival, I got some of those friends. I talked to them. Then I came up with this suggestion of a movie, and they were like, yeah, it is okay, you can come over. So that was really very good. But getting them, teaching them the language was a bit hard. So I changed. I said, no, let them use Kinyarwanda instead. It will be very easy for them. And then, like, it would be friendly. And actually, I just came up with that language because of the people I got on set, that they could speak Kinyarwanda better than the language we're using. But the challenge now was funds. Cross-border, you know what it means, transportation, accommodation, feeding them. Yet we had a very big crew, including the children. Over 20 people were supposed to stay in Rwanda for over 2 weeks. So that was a challenge in its own way as a producer, to get money, to feed them, to transport them, to accommodate them, all those sorts of things. But we managed, though this movie is still under production. The biggest part is done, but we are yet to accomplish it. Yeah, such that it can compete in the next festival, the Mashariki. Yes. Mm.
Okay. It's interesting that at least you've done most of the part, and I hope my viewer is happy to support. I hope so.
Exactly. We really need support because being a new country, we are not connected to many people who could maybe support us, get accommodation, get this. Though we wanted to see these things moving, that is one of the things they taught us in the festival, that it is good to collaborate with others, it is good to share. Then I said I should be #1 to come up with this movie with the Rwandese.
Nice. What are some of the memorable experiences in this collaboration, in the process of shooting and all that?
Wow. Oh, I cannot forget the last day we came to Kigali to shoot. We got a big challenge. In fact, it was easy for us to get those good sceneries and places. It was interesting, it was fun. The places looked so nice, very clean, very neat, very organized. Everything was so wonderful. But now something I'll never forget. We got a problem with our camera. My dear, that day I started sweating. I was like, now, where can I start from? I don't know most of these people in the country. We had to hire other cameras. Ours was down. Even another camera was like, now, what is happening? I had nothing to do, but we got good people around. Rwandese are really kind people and generous. They gave us these cameras and we had to pay the money later. So they trusted us, gave us the cameras, we paid later, and we had to go on with the shooting. So I will never forget that. Maybe another thing that amazed me, as we were shooting, there is a certain girl we gave our stuff. somewhere. There is a place, that center where people meet near the city. What is it called? That very beautiful place where people come, meet, then go. Yes, there was Wi-Fi, everything. Yes. The place was very good. Many people were there. We gave this girl the responsibility to take care of our stuff, cameras, everything, the phones, money, bags, as we were shooting around. So this girl left the things and she went with a friend. By the time we came, I was like, where is this girl now? We got worried and we were like, these things are stolen, eh? Fortunately, we got everything intact. I was shocked and surprised. I was like, which kind of country is this? Where people can come, leave other things intact, they are not touched. The money was there, the phones, the cameras, everything we're using, the costumes and everything. After so many hours of shooting, we found them.
Nice, interesting.
Yes.
Can that happen in Kampala?
I can't tell.
That is a question for another day.
That is a question for another day. But it was amazing. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, how do you see these themes from which you act your movies reflecting the future of the East African storytelling and the potential for more unfilled narratives in the region?
Actually, the themes I use are the very themes. I first make investigations, see things happening, what is really happening in the region, in families, especially family. So I come up with such themes because I see they are really helpful. This thing is alarming the men leaving their responsibilities. They leave homes, they do whatever they want, then they leave the women alone. I saw it alarming and disgusting. Women are becoming wild. Women are doing all sorts of things. I don't know whether it is, but I don't think it is common in Rwanda, but in Uganda, it is a big problem. So I had to come up with a solution to work upon this. So I decided to come up with a program of a boy child.
Actually, before we get there, I was about to ask you, given the gravity of this problem, do you think the movie alone is enough, or we need some sort of campaign, like a wrap-up, like an energetic campaign to have this solved maybe once and for all?
Yes, the movie cannot be enough, but the movie is one thing that attracts people to come on board. Because once they are watching this movie, they can come on board. We need government, we need NGOs, we need different people, we need companies, we need all those people to come up and we do something tangible, something that can really come up with awareness. We want this awareness such that this thing doesn't grow. It is alarming, it is very bad, and once we don't have families, we shall not have a country. Even these churches will perish. Everything will perish if we don't have families, because everything is begun in a family. When we are teaching characters, morals, all that kind of thing, we begin in a family. But once we do away with families, we have nothing. The next generation is going to be dead. Children who have been raised with single parents, with no parents at all. Like if the mother quits, the father will also go. Now, where are the children? They are left alone, so they will decide to go to streets. They will decide to become thieves. They will do all sorts of things. And that is the next generation we are going to have. It is really alarming. So that's why in this movie, I acted like I want to talk to the presidents themselves. The president of this country, President Kagame, then the president of Uganda, President Museveni. So in the movie, someone was like laughing at me sarcastically, like, how can you meet these people? But because it is a big problem to the country, there is nothing you can do to come up with a very good country or a peaceful country when you don't have nurtured people from homes. These parents help us to nurture the children, to come up with good children, like children who have good morals. Because the presidents themselves, we have our MPs and what have you, they cannot do this. We start with parents, right from the grassroots, to come up with morally upright people who can serve the country diligently.
Yeah, true. So you are talking about Save the Boy Child. How does that align with this narrative?
The campaign of the boy child, because all along we've been having these campaigns of girl child, women emancipation, and what have you. But when we go to scriptures, the Bible says the man is the head of the family. Not only the Bible, even culture. We know this, and it is the right thing, that the man is the head of the family. Now the head has many parts that have so many functions. Like if you cut it off, the entire body cannot function without the head. But once the hand is cut off or the leg, someone is alive without a hand, without a leg, but someone cannot be alive without a head. That's why even God himself equated the man to the head. Now, if the head is missing, it means the entire body cannot function. The entire body is dead. So the most important thing would be to empower the head. Educate. I'm not saying that we leave the girls aside, but instead of giving priority to the girl child, everything girl child, women, money to women, knowledge, women, everything women, but the head is left out. Yet, this is the most important part on someone's body. So that is the man. Oh, this is the boy child. So once we begin from childhood to nurture him, to tell him a man is supposed to do A, B, C, D. A man is supposed to behave like this. A man does this and this and is the head. Families will be in the right order. Families will be in harmony. Families will not have wrangles and these fights we are seeing and all that kind of thing. Because now the challenge, if a woman is knowledgeable in everything, the woman has money, the woman has authority, the woman has it all, it will bring the man down. And the man cannot accept that because in his nature, he was born with this authority. He was born to rule, to govern. But now, because he doesn't have the potential to do those things, it's like the woman is taking her role. So what the man will do is to walk away or to fight physically for himself, to regain his status. So what will happen next? He will leave, or if he fights, the home will have no father. That is the problem, and that is the reason as to why we have many single mothers, which is a very big problem. Because marrying this girl who has grown up with only a mother, it is a very big problem. This girl will be knowing, mommy does it all, I'll also do the same. Now, if it comes to a boy, that is another big problem. The boy who saw his mother doing everything, once he marries, he will think this woman is capable of doing what the mother did. Now,
they forget the role.
Exactly, and they forget the role of the father themselves because they grew up seeing their mothers doing all sorts of things. But it is not the right thing because women have their roles and that makes them to be submissive. And men have their roles that make them to be governors and bosses in their families. Yes, so that is the importance of this movie, to make families come up in order, like to be organized in a way like how it used to be originally. So we want to go back to the roots.
Nice, that's interesting. And I've seen part of this movie. I've seen small boys that you used to play. So these are the small boys that you're actually training to become good fathers.
Exactly, to become good fathers. And
They are learning from experience.
They are learning from experience. Actually, we teach them first. After learning what we've taught them, after acting, they are able to teach the rest. Yes, it is very important even for the children to learn these things. Basically, I use children in my movies in most cases, and then few adults.
So do you train them first? You have like a training school?
Yes, we have a film academy. It is called Flair Film Academy. It is in Uganda, in a place called Nigeria. That's where it is located. They come during holidays. We teach them how to behave. It is not just acting, but it is all around. These behaviors, how is someone is supposed to behave, working, those things. Because they come at the academy when they know nothing completely. A child cannot cook, a child cannot clean a house, a child doesn't know how to communicate with elders or other people. So they learn all these things and they are all around.
All right. So how has it been like to return to Mashariki Festival with now the new movie, The Head?
Wow. It has been
And what does the festival mean to you anyway as a filmmaker?
Because this is a very big achievement. Only in 1 year, like last year I attended this and I achieved. This is a very big fish that I got out of the lake. Coming back the second year with a movie. It is really very nice. Some people who have come this time have seen it. They are happy about it. And in fact, this is something they can show as a result of Mashariki. Even there are others, but mine is big in a way. Because this collaboration between Ugandans and Rwandese and coming up with such a story, they were seeing their roads, they were like, wow, this is beautiful. They are seeing other sceneries around Rwanda, even their own people, they didn't know that they acted in the movie. It was very interesting and very amazing. So I just pray that we continue like this. More things are to come, and we thank the government of Rwanda, the people, the organizers of Mashariki, and other people around, because we've worked with them. They are very good people. They are welcoming. It was really fun, and it was a very good achievement for us to act in their city.
Well, thank you on their behalf. And our time is fast spent, but I want to ask you one final question.
Yes.
What do you hope viewers will take from this movie, The Head, both at the festival or when it even reaches broader audiences? Yeah.
Since this is a nice story, and it is a story that I believe the message is going to reach home. First of all, people's attention is being attracted. It is a local movie, but we are
And I have been told that you are also putting on French subtitles.
Exactly.
To reach even a bigger audience.
Exactly.
Those who don't
understand English well.
Or these other local languages.
Exactly. We've put French such that they can easily get the message. And the actors themselves, they acted so well that someone can be able to watch the movie. It is 1.5 hours. The message they are going to take, actually they've already started changing their behavior. One man at Mashariki was telling me, oh wow, I didn't know this is bad, but now I'm going to change to this. So you are giving them the message to take home. Actually, they've already started, not only here, even in Uganda. Many families have started to change, but we want it to go to another level. We need help. We need help from the government, from church leaders, from companies, from schools, because when we go to schools especially, schools have big numbers. So we are talking to so many people who are going to change. We want a better generation, because where we are going, I'm seeing some bit of darkness if we don't fight this earlier. So that's why I came up with this movie, and I'm requesting you kindly to look for this movie, Where is the Head, such that we can change our families, we can change our boy children, even the girls themselves, because boys get married to men to women, and the other way around. So if you make sure the women or the girls are in a better position, what about the men they are going to get married to? If you make sure that my family is well off, like I've nurtured them, I've done it all, unfortunately, your daughter is not going to get married to the brother. She will go elsewhere in another family. That's why it is a collective effort. Let's fight together. Let's work together for all families to be in a better position, because my children will go somewhere else in a different family. Now, if I don't care about that family, I'll be in a big loss. So it is us to work collectively, work as a team, the government, everyone should come on board for the boys, for the men to regain their status and go back to the rightful position of the head, not the toes. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm extremely grateful for you making time to come and talk to us.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for the insightful discussion. Thanks for the beautiful message that my audience definitely would love to hear. And I'm also happy for you that even before you publish the movie, it has already started making impact.
True.
That is a very good development. And thank you again for making time to come and talk to us.
I thank you in
I
a
wish you
special
the
way,
best.
Sam, for viewing this movie also, and like you were touched. You said, wow, this movie should go to another level. I thank you so much for this opportunity and this TV. I hope people will be watching, reading the papers and all that kind of thing for us to reform.
Thank you so much. And have a safe flight back home.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you too.
To my viewers, the perspective is on the lookout for the best stories that you want to hear, for the best content that will attract you and will teach you a lesson or two. From us, it's goodbye and God bless you.